is up, everyone? Welcome to Love, Money, Rock and Roll. This is a visual novel I've been waiting quite some time on. It's made by the same studio who made the visual novel Everlasting Summer, which was one of the very first visual novels I ever played. Very, very interesting game. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't played it for yourself, I highly recommend it. It is completely free over on Steam. For sure, check it out. It is a very, very interesting story. So much so that when I found out this team was working on another visual novel, I immediately had to, chip in and, I had to support it. I've had this game pre-ordered since 2019. All right, since September of 2019, almost 3 whole years. But if you go into the little backers tab here, I have to type my name in quite a bit. Boom, there I am. So I've had this game pre-ordered for quite some time. I've been very excited for it. I've been looking forward to it for quite some time and following the development very closely. I'm very excited. I'm sure I've just said that like 3 times now, but I really am. Really am. So the little synopsis to this game is that you play the role of Nikolai, who is the son of... You live in Japan, but you're the son of Russian immigrants. There's 4 main love interests, each with their own route, and there's some kind of like there's a darker undertone to it. There's something to it, which I kind of expected going off of Everlasting Summer. If you know, you know. But there's something more to it, because like in the synopsis, it's saying like Nikolai will have to decide who he really trusts and whatnot. So it's like, there's definitely something more to it than just a nice little romance game. Which honestly, like I said, I expected nothing less. But yeah, no. I'm very excited for this. So without further ado, new game, baby. Please choose game appearance. Clean. What's immersive? What? This changes nothing. What is this changing? What are we doing here? Immersive. Clean. I guess we'll go with clean because I don't see a difference. Okay. March 4th, 1987. Oh yeah, this game takes place in the 80s. I maybe should have said something about that. These falling sakura petals. Shit, where's my entry key? Does anyone really find them beautiful? Yes. What kind of question is that? Does anyone really see a deep meaning in their whirl? Maybe this interplay of color, the purple velvet against the setting sun, does mesmerize. Back then, I must have thought the same as I watched the leaves fall. Maybe too much time has passed. I have forgotten. I have changed. Only the trees are still the same. They don't care. They came into the world before me, and they will yet outlive my descendants. They don't care for the beauty of their falling petals, their speed, direction, or angle. It's all the same to them. Why would they bother with such minutiae? To them, this is nothing more than a routine change of the seasons. To me, though, it is a flood of memories. The tree in front of me now is exactly the same as it was that day. The day when I had to do something. The day when it was too late to do anything. Ooh, it's the same. The same are the petals too, falling with perfidious indifference. I don't know that word. They truly don't care. They don't care if, one day, a photographer makes an entire exhibition of their images, or if a pair of sweethearts falls even more deeply in love, enchanted by their ceaseless dance. That's how nature is. It's not how I am. Same as that day, a year ago. That day, the petals were falling off the trees as well. Back then, too, nature was lying down. Not dying, no, but falling asleep, to wake up again in the spring, its fire of life rekindled. Sitting under this tree, I remember all the joy and all the sadness. Do you really love me? Yes. Truly? Yes. Damn. Man's really hitting her with the smooth talk. Yes. She turned away, while the petals kept falling, getting tangled in her hair, making her look even more beautiful. You know, cherry petals really suit you. She turned around. She probably didn't want to. She probably expected something else. Elegant phrases, intelligent words. Something that wasn't this. Really? Yes. Yes, of course. No, you're adding too much of that, of course. You stick to what you're good for, dude. Just hit it with it. Yes. She smiled. I, too, must have expected something different. Feelings, confessions, as beautiful as those fluttering petals. But at that time, those words were more important to me than anything else. More important than the tree. More important than the moment. More important than life itself. Because I realized that they were like a petal resting in my hand before it fell to the ground. So near, so fragile, so precious. God, I really like that background image. December 6th, 1987. So, yeah, we're jumping ahead because the last one was in March, right? I woke up. The fan was humming as obnoxiously as ever. Its noise must have been what woke me up. I was sick of it, of course, but it was a necessary evil. The summer heat was relentless, even with the doors open. It was 3 in the morning, and the silence was sickening. Dear God, better to hear the blaring of police sirens, or the shouting of a tipsy neighbor, or the screeching of car tires. Anything but this obnoxious fan. I would have turned it off long ago, but then I would have certainly been cooked alive by the heat. Hell, Russian winters had nothing on Japanese summers. With effort, I got up and went to the kitchen for some water. What were Russian winters like, anyway? Muffled creaking came from the floorboards under my feet. The rest of the house, which consisted of 3 bedrooms, a living room, a bathroom, and some pantries, paid no attention to its sole inhabitant. Damn, it really was 3 a.m. I gulped the water down greedily, spilling half over myself. Next morning, I had to go to school. Had to? Why, exactly? Maybe I was the one who came up with these stupid duties and responsibilities, struggling myself with the necessity of socializing and waiting for the useless piece of paper that would attest to me possessing a high school education. I must have invented this world myself, as was my wont. As was my wont? Want? Won't? Want? I must have made it up alongside all the other worlds that I fabricated daily. For myself, for those I knew, for the whole world. These obligations were nothing but stupid conventions of that world. By a stroke of bad luck, it was also the world that most people viewed as the real one. I poured myself another glass of water and returned to bed. The moon shone brightly, animating every speck of dust. In its mournful light, my room looked entirely different, like a portal to another world. A world that was beyond even my imagination. The silver ray fell on the table, inching towards a heap of papers. School papers, an unfinished novel, letters. From my mother, from friends in Russia, and I got up and put a particular scrap of paper into a drawer. It's been a year since it arrived. Or, why should it even bother me? Then again, why was it on my table? I should have tossed it long ago. I jumped up, took a step towards the table, and came to a halt. How could I? It's not as if I hadn't tried before. More than once. The phone rang loudly. At 3 a.m.? Who the fuck calling at 3 a.m.? Very loudly. It was 3 in the morning. Who could possibly need to talk to me at this hour, right? To a dejected high schooler sunk in self-reflection, I don't care who you are. Who the hell is calling at 3 a.m.? Although, I was used to it. What? Oh, damn. Hit me with the choices straight out the gate? Oh, do we answer? Do we not answer? Ooh. Why is this one, like, highlighted but not... Wait, is it because I can... Okay, that's why. If I wanted to make choices with the arrow keys instead of the mouse. Gotcha. Interesting. Well, if this were me, I'm just saying, if I were to put myself in this situation, anyone calling at 3 a.m. can get fucked. I'm answering that. I hit enter, damn it. There we go. The telephone went quiet for a moment, but immediately started ringing again. I see, false choice, gotcha. At this rate, it would keep going the whole night. Hello? Hi, you're not asleep? As you can tell. I felt a strong desire to hang up and disconnect the phone. But stronger still, I wish that she could be here now, close by. How come? How should I know? Probably because you called me. She mumbled something unintelligible. How are things in general? How should things be, in general, at 3 in the morning? I don't know. Great? Then they're great. Oh, quit it. What did you want to hear? I just wanted to call. You thought it was okay to call at 3 a.m. I saw the light come on in your kitchen, so I figured you were up. Why are you spying on my house, ma'am? That's mad creepy. So you're up at 3 a.m. and just fucking staring out the window. You see the light come on in his house, like, oh, time to call. Like, ma'am, I'm gonna need you to, we need to set up some whoever you are, we need to set up some boundaries, alright? Clearly you're someone the Mr. Protagonist here recognizes, but, no, we need to lay down some boundaries because that's creepy. You're spying on me? No, I was just stalking. The line went silent for a few seconds. She must have been trying to think of something that wouldn't sound too ridiculous. It's just that I couldn't sleep either. Why either? What if I had been sleeping? But you weren't. I honestly, the light coming on at 3 a.m. doesn't mean he wasn't sleeping for all you know. Like, homie was just using the bathroom for all you know. Like, he wakes up at 3 a.m. like, oh damn, he used the bathroom. Goes to the bathroom, goes back to bed. But no, your ass sees the light goes on like, perfect time for a phone call. Alright, let's start from the beginning. What did you want? I wanted to know. She paused mid-sentence, as if working up the courage, before continuing more confidently. Are you coming to school tomorrow? What if I am? Then I'll come get you in the morning. Oh, that's just great. It's 3 in the morning and you're going to come by. When? In 3 hours? So we won't be late. You know what? I think I'm going to pass. Hey, you can't keep missing school. At this rate, you won't be able to graduate. And then you won't be able to find a good job. And then... She got entirely tangled up in predictions of my future. Oh well, no biggie. It won't be a biggie. Leave the door unlocked in the morning. You have your keys. What does it matter if I lock the door? Oh, right. See you in the morning then. See you. I didn't feel like arguing. What was the point anyway? She would come and wake me up regardless. It's what she did almost every day. Why did I ever give her keys? Well, that was a while back. It must have been about a year. The cherry petals were probably falling on that day as well. But to hell with them. I made sure to set my alarm so I'd be up before she came. Not that it mattered much, but this was getting old. What's more, I worried that I was getting too accustomed to it, seeing her familiar face every morning. Dependent, even, which was something I absolutely couldn't allow to happen. So if she wanted to come in the morning, fine. She wouldn't be waking me up again. Cut to him being woken up again. July 9th, 1987. Okay, so now we're going back 5. A lot of time skipping here. We were in March, then we jumped to December. Now we're jumping back to July. 100 bells chimed with 100 melodies in my head. Wait, no. Were we in July? Fuck. Wait, are the dates in like European time? I'm curious. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me, seeing on how this was made by Europeans, but... And maybe I've just been misreading the dates? I don't know. In that medley were the cheerful chirping of the birds, the construction on a neighboring street, the boisterous shouts of street vendors, that damned fan that hadn't quit humming for a second, and the grumpy muttering somewhere close by. Cute. The fixed gaze of those large green eyes, the pouting lips, and the 2 red braids all informed me that I had slept in. What time is it? The girl picked up the alarm clock and shoved it in my face. It's still early, I protested. The early bird gets the worm. This is Himitsu. I feel like I've known her my whole life, or at least since my parents and I moved to Japan. Her mother is Russian, although she divorced Himitsu's father when we were still children. Okay, enough lounging around. Time to get up, wash up, eat breakfast, and go to school. This is how most of my days start. Though after all these years, I've grown used to it. Incidentally, I forgot to introduce myself. Nikolai, a high schooler. Nika-kun! Himitsu's voice carried throughout the entire house, and it no longer felt quite so empty and lonely. I quickly showered and dressed, and then went to the kitchen. This house really was too big for one person. In fact, it was probably designed for a multi-generational family. Grandparents, parents, children, grandchildren. All the empty space felt oppressive, even when my parents were still with me. It felt like a museum or a library. No one in their right mind would want to live in one of those, especially by themselves. Bon appetit! Same to you. An omelet and several kinds of salads graced the table. Damn, she cooks fast. Oh! 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 Oh, I'm digging it. I'm loving it already. That's one part of this I was really looking forward to, because I know in Everlasting Summer, to this day, Everlasting Summer still is one of my favorite OSTs in visual novels. And I know they didn't bring back the same exact people for this one, but I figure with a game that had rock and roll in the title, like the OST had to bring it. You can't just put something musical in the title of your game and not have a solid OST. But regardless, I picked up a piece of cucumber with my chopsticks and lazily rolled it around the plate. Not hungry? I am, but I can't live off grass like a rabbit. Himitsu frowned. So instant ramen is better in your book. I don't know about better, but certainly tastier. Hey! She puffed out her cheeks comically, which made her look like a cute hamster. Hell yeah. I put real work into it, you know. KO. I could say nothing to counter that, so I concentrated on chewing. What are you planning to do after school today? Go home. I don't know. Kyosuke wanted to go to the movies, I think. Do you have another idea? She set her chopsticks aside and looked at me intently as if about to say something important. Maybe... She laughed, trying to hide her embarrassment. Never mind, it's not important. Himitsu is in love with me. I've known this for a long time, but have done nothing about it. Jeez. You know, that is, a nice little break from, like, your standard, like, romance protagonists who are, like, so dense they don't realize that someone that clearly has feelings for him, he's like, yeah, no, I know she wants me, I just, right now I don't give a shit. It's like, okay, dude. Alright. At some point I grow so used to it that I couldn't tell anymore whether she loves me as a brother or a man. To be perfectly honest, I didn't care one way or another. If you want to go somewhere, I can reschedule the movie. It can do without me tonight. Her face gleamed with an earnest smile. I love that smile. Well, actually, I want to check out this one store near the station. It's just opened. The girls at school won't stop talking about it. Someone else in my shoes might have considered this a date. But I simply enjoyed spending time with Himitsu. I mean, yeah, enjoying spending time with someone is still a date, whether or not you call it that. She seemed content with our arrangement, too. You haven't finished your breakfast. Nor did I plan to. I might still have to eat more grass for lunch. Why don't you ever make borscht or dumplings or something? Borscht isn't breakfast. Besides, I've made it before. Himitsu pouted. She had made it before, true, but not the same way I remembered from my childhood. I wasn't about to tell her that. It's one thing not to know how to do something. You can always learn. It's quite another to both know and do, yet fail to meet expectations. When that's the case, there's a good chance that you'll never learn. You're right, sorry. Your borscht is very good. Borscht. Yeah, borscht. I repeated. Himitsu glared at me. Anyone else in her place would have long since emptied this bowl of imaginary borscht over my head. So what's the store you were talking about? They sell clothes. She kept staring at me. Dresses, sweaters, skirts, clothing. Women's clothing. Do you think maybe you should go with one of your girlfriends then? I'm not saying no, it just might be a bit awkward. Why? I don't know, it's just the way things are here. You know I'm not always great with the local customs. I was telling the truth. Anyone else would have long since gotten used to the Japanese way of life, to Japanese traditions and cultural norms, or at least to the ways of the local high schoolers. That's... no one's here to think anything. It's not like we're... Himitsu was now completely flustered, which was making her upset. I couldn't tell if she was more upset with me or herself. Sometimes when I talked to Himitsu, and not only her, I would hit a dead end. I no longer knew what was expected of me, while the other person couldn't understand why I didn't get it. In the end, the entire meaning of the conversation would end up buried under an avalanche of misunderstanding, which snowballed with every new remark. At such times, it was better to agree or to remain silent. Alright, it's fine. No one's gonna think anything. Why would they?
Exactly.
Oh, I like that smug little face. I really like that expression. Himitsu said triumphantly and went to wash the dishes. What was this kind of weather? Early in the fall, called in Russia Grandma's summer? Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm no Russian expert, I wouldn't know, but yeah, that's what you're calling it, huh? In Japan, at any rate, it was still very hot at the beginning of September. Himitsu walked alongside me, smiling. I occasionally glanced over at her, trying to figure out what was on her mind. Okay, so yeah, the dates must be written, well, I keep saying European style. I'm pretty sure it's like the rest of the world that writes it that way, and it's us Americans who like to be different. Because, yeah, okay. Just clarifying that for myself. I occasionally glanced over at her, trying to figure out what was on her mind. Not that I was particularly interested. More likely, I was just trying to distract myself from my own thoughts. The image of the falling cherry petals kept surfacing in my mind, dragging up painful memories. As for Himitsu, she never broached the subject. Was she keen to avoid reopening the wound, or was she just showing tact?
Hey, it's Nika-kun. Do you copy?
Huh? What? I'd clearly been daydreaming.
We're almost there, and you're still sleeping.
Himitsu knit her brow. As always, her displeasure looked more comical than intimidating. I'm not sleeping. I'm solving the world's problems in my head.
Oh yeah? What sort of problems?
She laughed. The political sort. Not even geopolitical. Who else will solve them if not yours truly?
Your grades are a little underwhelming for a future politician.
That's not important. There have been plenty of great people who didn't get the best grades in school. Take Einstein, for instance.
I see.
I love that face. Himitsu smirked. We would have probably kept chit-chatting like this if it weren't for a scuffle happening that moment at the school gate. Oh! God, I fucking love this. This music kicks ass. Several people had surrounded a girl. From a distance, we couldn't see who it was.
Look,
said Himitsu quietly, slowing down. I listened in. Oh yeah, that girl's one of the love interests. She probably wears the same skirt all year. Must be a hand-me-down from her older sister. How does a bum like her even get admitted to our school? It's not a halfway house. Go work at the fish market. You guys are assholes. Careful now, you might catch something from her. It's not like I was going to, you know, with her. Hey, you're onto something. I bet that's how she spends her nights, earning a little side cash.
poor thing.
Mitsu paused for a second.
Isn't she in your class?
I looked more closely. She didn't look familiar. I didn't think so.
Are you saying you don't even know your classmates are?
Of course I do. That's Naka... Iwamura. I fixed my hair and looked triumphantly at Himitsu. She was not impressed. In fact, she's our class president. Himitsu was still looking at me reproachfully. Oh, what? I've never spoken much with her. Anyway, this is the first time we're together in the same class, so it's only been 6 months. Meanwhile, the scuffle, if you could call it that, was picking up steam. The girl remained stubbornly silent, only dropping her head lower with every minute. This only continued to encourage the bullies. Come on, who'd pay money for someone like her? Except maybe a couple hundred yen. The speaker made a show of opening his wallet stuffed with bills, pulling out a handful and waving them in front of Iwamura. It is really getting out of hand. I muttered under my breath. The other students walked right on past, pretending not to notice anything. These damn traditions again. This isn't right.
Miko-kun, don't. Let's just tell a teacher.
Nah, let's get in a fist fight. This is the 80s, baby. Let's fucking go. I don't know why that all of a sudden justifies it, but it does in my mind. Let's go. Himitsu tugged lightly at my sleeve. What's the teacher going to do? Scold them? My, aren't you ashamed of yourselves? I'm starting to get worked up. Good. Get angry. Hulk out. Let's go. Try to think about it. What business of mine was this? It's being a good Samaritan. Or some shit. A fellow classmate? So what? I didn't exchange more than a couple words with her before this day. Still, it's hard to watch one poor girl getting picked apart by an entire pack. I mean, I'm absolutely gonna save. I don't like how the music stops when I go to make my saves, but alright. But then it comes right back in. Alright, we're good. I have morals. Why should I stay on the sidelines? What if Himitsu were in her place? Exactly. After all, we weren't exactly the richest kids at the school either. Sorry. Himitsu only smiled slightly in response. Yo, chuckle fucks. Hey. I yelled and headed confidently in their direction. Leave her alone. First they just looked at me in surprise. Yomura, on the other hand, kept staring at the ground and didn't react at all. Yeah, you all look like assholes. Why? I'm just gonna chalk it up to the 80s. I was like, why does that guy on the left have that hair? But I'm like, you know what? It's the 80s, wild times. Who would you be? What do you care? Keep walking. Their tone was challenging, but that only boosted my confidence. 4 against 1? Don't you think that's a bit unfair? Want some too? Is that it? Let's fucking go. 2 guys from the group stepped forward, cracking their knuckles for emphasis. Seemed like they could do more than talk trash. What's the hero gonna do now? One of them smirked. Yeah, what? To tell the truth, I didn't know either. I've been compelled to stand up for Yomura by some kind of inflamed sense of justice. No more. Because here, you weren't supposed to act this way, and there, you were supposed to help your neighbor. But real life isn't manga or anime. In real life, I had no superpowers. You're about to find out. No, that's, we're gonna get our ass beat, aren't we? Let's go. I got up close to one of them, and froze. And what now? The guy staggered back, clearly rattled. Who do you think you are? Same instant, the second guy rushed up to me, clearly intending to shove me in the chest. My reflexes kicked in before I could think. Out swung my arm. Fuck yeah. Crack! Came the sound of the assailant's jaw. The world around me seemed to freeze. Yomura, the other girls, even the guy who had just punched, all stared, seemingly transfixed with surprise. This only lasted an instant. Yeah, and then everyone jumps me and beats my ass. Let's go. You. Oh no, I see. They're all spoiled rich fucks. That's why they don't kick my ass, because they're not going to. They're all entitled. You've any idea who my father is? One of the girls shouted. Oh, that was a girl. Don't yell. Let's just go. He's some sort of psycho. Another girl tried to calm her friend down. The second guy helped his fallen friend up from the ground. This isn't over. We'll remember you. With these words, they quickly headed away from the school.